Welcome back to the Yins Betcha podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the greatest time of the year. It is here. March Madness is in full effect. We have the play-in tournament right now, I guess, really. Before we start, we have, of course, the two 16 seeds that are playing right now, actually. We have North Carolina Day and San Diego State, and then we have two tomorrow, two more games for the play-in. We got a lot to get through. A lot to talk about. Free agency as well, NFL. We will get through all that in our teams, what our thoughts are. We'll talk Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if we really want to do that, but I guess we will. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. This is, like you said, my favorite time of the year. I'm officially going to work this year, virtually. And try to knock out as much as I can in the morning. I do have an appointment at 2 o'clock Thursday.
Yeah.
As you heard me talking with Tanya, that I have to make arrangements to possibly get kind of from school because they have early dismissal Friday.
Right.
I'm like, you're killing me. Like I've taken off of work or school every year since I was like 13.
Yeah,
I would skip school, and it was a big tradition for me the first 2 days of the tournament. It's my favorite time. I'd love to start drinking at noon on Thursday.
That's awesome.
Although, again, I've got an appointment at 2 o'clock, so
Yeah.
can't happen this time. But, I'm excited. Finally, Michigan's back in it
Let's go.
after a little bit of a hiatus. We'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with their fucking seed.
No.
After winning the Big Ten tournament. We'll get into that. But, yeah, let's knock football out real quick.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Our teams have made some splashes a little bit in free agency, both of ours.
Yeah.
And we're both rumored to Aaron Rodgers.
Linked.
We've been needling each other about that. So we can get into that. You want to go first? Like, what do you feel so far about?
Yeah, I mean the
players
signings
you've got?
from what we are now. Big play Slay is a Steeler. I mean he's older now. Is not probably where he was before, but I mean, hey, it's a name. It's a good name. I'll take it. You know what I really like? The best thing that we've gotten so far is Kenneth Gainwell. I think that's a great add, a great addition to our running backs.
It was kind of an underrated signing too. It wasn't real.
No one really talks about it.
I didn't realize they had him until I saw like a graph or whatever of all the players.
Yeah.
Actually, matter of fact, what it was who the Eagles had lost because they're the defending champs. They made a big deal of, and then that's where I saw it. They came on with this. I didn't even know he went there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of an unsung.
No one really, I feel like no one really talked about it. The Eagles did lose a lot. I mean, for coming back next year, they were able to keep the pieces, but I mean, I don't know what they're going to be able to do next year. It'll be interesting to see there. But yeah, Kenneth Gainwell, huge addition. I love that. I think he's going to be great. Najee, I'm kind of glad he left. I think it's time for a new something. I don't know. So I think this is it.
Yeah, running backs seem to pop back up. You can put young guys in, and
yeah,
I don't know how big of a loss that is. I mean, I teased you about when you guys got Metcalf. I'm like, okay, that's nice. You got Metcalf.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about that yet.
Who the fuck's going to throw to him?
Right.
That's still the question right now.
And then the biggest signing, DK. We paid him a lot of money, so I'm hoping. I mean, he said he wanted to go somewhere warm. This isn't warm. It's not going to be warm. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. The two personalities that they have, they're both, I need the ball right now, and I'm fighting everyone. Well, at least with George, he really does want to fist fight everyone that defends him. So, I don't know there, but DK, I'm really excited. The dude is a game changer. He can be when he has a good day. He's strong. He's fast. It just depends on what DK you're getting, which week you're getting him. So.
Right. I kind of feel that way a little bit about Pickens too. I feel like
he's even worse. I think.
Yeah, so
he's not as
keeping
consistent.
them both happy is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
for sure.
And as your testament, the way you talk about Tomlin and his wide receivers or his playmakers, it fits the mold.
It does.
So here we are. But yeah, and then we've added some defensive guys, low key names, but I think a lot that can help the defense. And we still have TJ, so that's good. Yeah, I do like what we've done. We are paying a lot of money for a defense that I'm hoping can play down the stretch again, because last year it felt like we were not stopping as much as we wanted to last year, especially in the Chiefs, the Ravens game, the last two Ravens games. So that's what I'm hoping for this year, because if we still don't have a quarterback, it's still a question mark. And yeah, we talked about it before we started on the show. Aaron Rodgers could come here. I don't know I don't know. I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, if I saw the tweet tomorrow from Adam Schefter that he signed with us, I mean,
right.
bring
yeah,
it on.
It does sound like you're more ready than I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in there at this point
for sure
because I know that he can make the throw still. It just depends on how much he can do it. I mean, he had 28 touchdowns last year. I am not going to let that go by the wayside. I know it wasn't a great year. I know they weren't in the conversation at all of that last year, but he still was able to make the throws. So, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I like it, though. So far, so good, I guess.
Yeah. Feeling good?
I'm feeling okay. This is not a team that could get past the first round of the playoffs, if you ask me. But it's still the same thing. It's still what we did last year. But I do like it.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to answer not knowing who your quarterback is. But at this point, with what's left on the table and who's there now, I don't know, even once they sign somebody else or say this is our starting quarterback, I don't necessarily think it improves them any more than they already are, if that makes sense. It could get worse if you sign nobody and you're like, oh, we're rolling with Mason Rudolph. I'm thinking 6-7 wins then. But if it is Rodgers or another year of Wilson, I still think you're in the same boat you were this year.
Yeah,
I don't think you improved.
I saw a mock draft for Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. I don't necessarily that's.
What round do they have that in?
I think that was second.
Okay.
Because I think the first round was Ibuka from Ohio State, which I don't mind that either. We need someone else, especially now. So if he can play the slot, that's great. But I don't know. I don't know about that Jackson Dart edition because I don't know who we're going to get and who's going to be there for that long. Like Aaron Rodgers, I'm only expecting him a year. I'm not expecting anything else after that. So Jackson Dart, I would love for him to learn to Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think that's going to happen now. So
one thing I learned from Favre is, I mean, it may be a 2-year contract, but you better expect one.
Yeah, 1 year.
There could be, and even I'm saying that if he goes to Minnesota, with the talent that's there, they were on the cusp of it last year, 14-3 regular season. I do think that he could get us to the playoffs. I'm not saying that he couldn't. I think it could.
Yeah.
It could mirror the year we had the first year with Favre, where really he was one gut-wrenching interception away from probably taking us to the Super Bowl. That could happen. I'm not ruling that out.
Yeah.
I do think that it's going to end the same way. Because he is either going to do that, make a gut-wrenching interception at a critical point, or he's going to. Oh, nice guy.
Yeah. Got a water bottle.
Randy should probably do some lessons.
Nah.
She doesn't listen to this podcast.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But I do think, personality-wise, the drama-filled that he likes to be around and make it about himself, it's going to end bad. No matter where he goes. No matter where he goes. Whether it's Pittsburgh, Minnesota. Fuck, if he goes back to New York, goes to the Giants. If he does that, that's going to be like, I almost want to say, did you not just watch the last year?
Right.
Because it's going to be the same fucking thing. That team is garbage. They're not going anywhere.
No.
So, I just cannot fathom. If he goes there, it's because our teams didn't want him.
Right.
And then I sent you that link. There is a rumor that he is waiting for the Vikings.
I know. When you sent that,
if he doesn't get that he's mulling retirement over signing with one of the other two teams.
Man,
I mean, I would rate it as opportunity. If he's legitimately thinking about opportunity for him to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With those three teams, it's Minnesota, Pittsburgh, New York. That's the order.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way I feel. So. And I don't even know, like I just said, I don't know if he elevates, but I don't know if he elevates Minnesota. I'm not saying he elevates us either.
Yeah.
I honestly think, I believe in JJ. I believe what we have waiting in the wings. I think we are probably a quarterback away from making the Super Bowl. I'm just not so sure it's him.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell either because we don't know.
We don't know, right?
But what I was watching a clip of a Schefter today, and what I liked, what he said makes sense. His prediction is, we're not going to know tomorrow, we're not going to know next week, we're not going to know in a month. He honestly truly thinks that he is waiting. he is waiting for Minnesota. That's the rumor anyway. He thinks he's waiting until practices start.
Yeah.
We know if JJ's okay with his meniscus or not. And if he's not, then Rodgers, even I got to admit, if you're telling me that JJ is not healthy,
Oh, I know.
then with what's left out there, and maybe I could even, because I kind of wanted Russell Wilson a couple of years ago, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I wanted him to be the bridge quarterback. I'd maybe even still take that just because I know personality-wise, he's not going to be a cancer in the locker room.
Right. Right.
And maybe he doesn't get us the talent that elevates us over, but we already didn't have that anyway with Darnold, and Darnold proved that.
Sure.
So to me, bringing in Russ would have been the same as having Sam. Although I'm going to get it at a cheaper rate.
Yeah, and you may get a Hail Mary to the end zone, like a moonball, like that could.
Right.
With Justin Jefferson in there, I think it'd be actually be a better fit than Sam.
Russell showed me some glimpses of it. Like I thought he was kind of done in Denver.
Me too.
He showed me that there is still something in there.
Yeah.
And if you get the right team around him, and one great thing that I didn't get into the Vikings free agency yet, but they're beefing up their offensive line and getting rid of the problems.
Yeah.
Fucking Ingram was a problem last year.
Right.
And now he's C.J. Stroud's problem down in Houston.
Yeah.
We released Bradbury. He's been extremely inconsistent. For somebody that we drafted in the first round, yes, he started every game that he played. I mean, he started 88 games in 6 seasons. So he was in the lineup, but he wasn't going to go to the Hall of Fame. He was never going to make – I don't even know if he ever made Pro Bowl. I don't think he did. So he was a starter, but he was just – he wasn't the guy.
Right.
So kind of getting some of that dead weight out of there and bringing in guys that are really good. I'm excited about that.
Right.
The only thing, Will Fries from the Colts hasn't.
Dude, he is great.
He's great, but he has not played a full season in his career. Ooh. That scares me.
I did not know that. Yeah. But that dude's like a 7-time Pro Bowl.
A couple of years were only like a game or two.
Yeah.
But he's never had a completely healthy
He's only like 28. Too, I think he's like he could be in the long haul for you guys if he can start being healthy. That is, I didn't know about that.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's not going to get better as you get older. That's going to get fucking worse. So that's the only thing that scares me about him. But they re-signed Aaron Jones.
That was
Harrison
big.
Smith's back. I don't know how much he has left in the tank.
Yeah,
he's just a good locker room guy. Obviously, lost Darnold. I don't think that's a loss really. Again, assuming JJ's 100% healthy, it's not a loss.
Right.
The only one that I really think could, again, from a locker room personality standpoint, is losing Cam Bynum. That could hurt a little bit.
And you haven't done anything yet with him?
Right? No, he went to the Colts.
So you did go to the Colts.
He went to the Colts. Okay. So we did bring back Theo Jackson. Obviously, I said Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
We re-signed Byron Murphy. I think that's huge. A little bit of a lockdown corner. And then we got that Jeff Okudah. I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
He's at the Lions and the Texans.
Yeah.
He's a former 4th overall pick.
Dang.
In the draft 6 years ago.
I did not know.
But in the 6th season, this is now his 4th NFL team.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know enough about why. That seems a little, that scares me a little bit from a locker room presence.
Yeah.
So I got to research him a little bit more to see what happens.
He seems like he's good though. I mean,
how's a 4th overall pick?
Right.
Go to 4 teams in 6 seasons.
Right.
That's a little weird. So, but I mean, they obviously need help.
Yeah.
And they've never historically have been bad at drafting corners. They really have. The only corners that they've ever had that are good. I mean, the last good corner that they drafted was Antoine Winfield. And that was the 90s.
Yeah, right.
So his fucking son's playing in the NFL. That's how long ago.
Yeah.
So, they always seem to draft him because they always need him.
Yeah.
And they just never seem to get it right.
Sure.
With a corner. So they've always done very well with pass rushers, on the offensive side of things. They draft very well on that. So I'm good if they just do that. Quit drafting fucking corners.
And just go out and get them.
Just get them in free, like with Murphy. And hopefully Okudah, just maybe just needs the right fit, the right team.
Right. And I said I think you guys made your team has made the best offseason.
Oh yeah. Like if you read everything on ESPN NFL Network, they're grading them at A plus.
A plus. Yeah,
Like,
it was fantastic. The ownership and everyone
it's-
around
yeah.
it is doing great.
Yep.
I mean,
So the only thing that's there is the quarterback thing. And like I said,
right.
after watching that clip today, that's where I'm at with it. I do
Mhm.
not want us to sign Aaron Rodgers in March or April, but we get to like
Yeah.
May and June, you get into camp. If JJ's not ready to go,
I guess.
yes,
Right.
I would admit that a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers is, with the team that we have assembled
Mhm.
for 1 year,
Yes.
is a better opportunity for us to win
Dude,
right now.
and you
Because
hate
nobody
him.
else is going to be left by that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you just do not like him.
I don't like him.
It's been years of Green Bay. It's
I
been
didn't-
years of the rivalry, and
No, see, I didn't like Brett Favre, but
Mhm.
that's because he was a Packer. Like, I didn't mind him as, I mean, the shit that he's been doing after his career, he seems like a sleazeball. And then he had the dick pic up in New York and had all this shit. But
Ooh.
prior to that,
yeah,
I just didn't like him as he was a fucking Green Bay Packer. That's the only reason I didn't like him.
right.
And so it was a little bit like it was hard for a pill to swallow, like all these years rooting against him
Yeah,
when he came to the Vikings. But instantly, like, I mean, the fourth game of the year when he threw that last second pass to Greg Lewis to win the game against the Niners to get us to 4-0. So you're talking still September. That was the game. Like, I still, even when we were 3-0, I don't trust you. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
you're gonna
I
fuck
don't
this
know
up, you know.
yet. Right.
When he made that pass,
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Like, it's team above player all day long.
Yeah.
Felt that way about Randy Moss throughout his career. Just win. That's all I want. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna take us to the promised land, I don't give a shit who you are. And I rode that all the way to the NFC Championship until he made that fucking interception. And I'm like, and here we go. And then that was it. And once that happened, once I knew we didn't win that year, I knew it was over. I knew it was, we put all our eggs in this basket. It's over. It was time to move on.
Yeah.
And that son of a bitch came back, and I was so pissed. But I was like, okay, like, just figure out how to get there. And by week 2, I knew it was over. You know, I went to that game, matter of fact. We were hosting Miami at home, and Miami was shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking, okay, there's a guaranteed win. We get the 1-1 because we opened up with the Saints, of course, in New Orleans. So we didn't win that game, but it was a tough game. But yeah, when he lost to the Dolphins by scoring 10 points at home in week 2, I knew it was over. I knew it was over. And yeah, I mean, it ended up, he got hurt. The Metrodome fucking
collapses.
The roof collapses.
Yeah.
The fire coach. Like, it was just
One after another.
one
Right.
thing after another. So I think the same thing will, like, if he comes to Minnesota, he's going to mirror exactly Favre's
what
career.
that was.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
That
He's
blows
gonna-
my mind.
He's going to screw us.
Do you think we'll see the third generation of Jordan Love do all this? I wonder. I don't think he has the same. I don't think he has the same attitude as they did. They both have the same exact attitude, in my opinion.
He seems to have a little bit of an injury. I just don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
I think he's very overrated. He is not. Once Favre got in the league and got out of Atlanta,
Yeah.
you can tell he was something different. You didn't really know about Rodgers until he was thrust in there, and what he did it pretty immediately too.
Yeah, sure.
Love has had he's had flashes. He's had some games that were good, but they were honestly, wow. There's some deer just ran right.
Oh
through
yeah.
something. They're still coming.
Other buck
yeah.
right there. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was cool and distracting. It's
Yeah.
one cool thing about recording. In the
Yeah.
field, isn't it? See
See everything
wildlife.
outside.
See the wildlife. Where was I?
Yeah, I forget now. Wait, we were talking about Favre. Oh yeah, Favre came on the scene, got out of Atlanta.
What I was saying about Love.
Jordan
Yeah.
Love,
So two of the big games that he had 2 years ago when he got his big contract were against Ed Donatell's shitty defense in Minnesota.
Oh.
So we basically gave him that contract.
Yeah.
So it was like a little bit of fool's gold. He's not as good as people think.
That's
he is.
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're close. Their defense is close. Something in there is. They feel like they could be good. I mean, last year was good for them, even though they were just in a powerhouse of the conference, a different division. Yeah. So.
But the Bears are better. I mean, it's
Yeah,
still
Bears
going
are
to be.
better.
That division's still going to be.
I just don't think. I don't know how
Crazy
good
hard
Caleb
next year.
Williams actually is. I don't know if he has a line yet, and until I
Well,
see
mean,
him
they
out of
beefed up the
line,
line. They have a whole new line. I've never seen a team do that.
the whole new line.
The
Yeah.
entire starting line is going to be different.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, so that'll be interesting to see if they think that they put a good enough line in front of him. This will be the year I judge him on because last year I just couldn't. It's just not enough in there. So,
Okay.
but yeah. No.
So yeah, as it stands, if JJ's healthy, that's who I want. I mean, we need a veteran quarterback though as a backup, and that's the thing about Rodgers. Rodgers isn't going to do that. If you bring him in, you know he's playing.
He's playing.
So we let Nick Mullins walk. No big loss there. The one thing that I want, it hasn't been rumored yet. This is a wish list for me. Is especially with the Browns getting Kenny Pickett and maybe signing or maybe drafting a quarterback. We don't really know yet, but maybe they're trying.
Feels
to
that way now.
That way.
Yeah.
I want Jameis Winston as a backup. I don't want him to be the guy, but
I think that's a great addition.
Yeah,
I mean, he's for any team right now too.
I think it would be good.
Yeah, and now with Russell it sounds like we're not going to be Russell Wilson. And it was supposed to be one or the other in this offseason for Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, but it looks like we've just gone by the wayside because he's in Cleveland and New York also interviewing. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting what quarterback goes to Cleveland or New York or what Pittsburgh, New York. So
I just don't.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I can see him going to New York though.
Yeah, well, there was supposed to be Kirk Cousins to Cleveland to have the battle happen.
Yeah,
and now
what an expensive backup quarterback.
Right. And they say that the locker room's going to be just fine. You haven't seen Kirk Cousins like in this situation yet. I mean, at least before the Redskins or anything else, So it's going to be really freaking interesting, I think, for that.
Maybe Atlanta will release him, and McCarthy's not healthy. We get back to
Oh my God, that would be insane! What a full circle moment there for that.
But as it stands right now, I'm excited with the moves they made.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go. I'm banking on it. And that's the thing that's going to scare me is if Rodgers is waiting to find out the news on JJ's injury, and we end up signing him, then that tells everybody in the world, and he's not then it's like, okay, how long is this is he ever going to be ready?
Yeah, I know.
That's where I'll get scared.
That's where you're scared. Yeah,
yeah.
I would be too.
Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, that if it comes to that would be.
I know you're questioning his skill set for the NFL.
As of right now, I am. Yeah.
But again, just with the situation that he's in.
Right.
If he was anywhere else, not anywhere else. I mean, there's maybe 2 or 3 teams that I'd say, like San Francisco. If he was in San Francisco.
Oh, dude, I wonder what that would be like. Yeah.
It'd be interesting, Mac Jones going there, because I don't think Purdy's any good.
No, and I think Mac Jones has
right. Again, in a right situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think he has a little bit more than Purdy does. I mean, I feel like they're interchangeable, those two players. But I do think Mac Jones has a little bit more that Kyle Shanahan.
I think he's got more upside.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Than Purdy.
I really do. I think he could be really good. I think he can be good. Not really good, but good. And Kyle Shanahan, that's all he needs is good.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you know what? I would take, if Purdy gets upset or they, get early into training camp and it's looking like they may go to Mac Jones or whatever, and they're not going to re-sign and give Purdy money, I would take Brock Purdy as a fucking backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I really would,
Right.
Because, again, he was good. He got them to the Super Bowl and it's a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But he had everything around him, which is not there now. San Francisco's kind of they're leaking a little bit here.
They really are. I mean, it feels like it's been a lot of changes.
That's the other signing I didn't get into. Jordan Mason. That's a big
dude.
That's a little under like you're kind of Gainwell. That's something that wasn't real splashy.
Right.
He's not coming in to be the number one guy. And that's a hell of a backup
running back. Yeah.
The way he runs too. He runs hard.
Right.
So he helps you wear down defenses. And then he wears them down. You can go back to Jones, who's a little bit more explosive.
Yeah,
that's a huge. I
want to say we still have Jaylen Warren. I have to look into that.
I think you do.
I think I do. He's good. I love him as a backup. I think he's one of the best backup running backs in the league. He has some games that he just spurts out here and there, and he gets there and that. So I mean, I do like him there too. But yeah, I mean, like Mason, dude. I mean. It's going to be a great year. If JJ can be, an ounce.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, after the break, we are live for the St. Francis Alabama State game, as well for the second half. It's 44-38. St. Francis is up. It's good for Kevin. Okay.
So I know, I'm going to give a shout out to one of our former guests, Dante.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, that he took St. Francis in his NCAA PlayStation. I don't know if I'll have to ask him. I don't know if he ever won the title with them.
Yeah.
I remember he was doing like a dynasty with them.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know he got him in a tournament. I don't know how far.
Yeah.
I don't know if he made a Final Four run. I'll have to ask him.
That would be awesome.
I know he's one of our loyal listeners, so
yeah.
If I forget to ask you, Dante, comment in the section. How far
comment down below.
How far did you get the red flashes?
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's so cool. I miss those games.
I'm hoping
they
like 15 years ago that you did this.
Right. And they used to make that game. I played the last rendition of what they made for a college basketball game, and now with NIL, I am hoping and praying EA brings it back. That'd be so cool.
I didn't even realize.
Or 2K made it back then, so yeah, it'd be awesome. But,
that shows you how long ago I played video games. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I didn't know that because I knew football was gone for a little bit, but it's back now.
It is back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the first thing I wanted to get into in regards to the brag, I made a couple of notes during Selection Sunday. I'm just going to lead off with it because I could not believe I watched that tournament run from Michigan that literally ended 10 minutes before Selection Sunday. And it was almost like they didn't even fucking watch the tournament.
Right.
I could not believe. Everything that I was reading was even before the game that they were a 3 seed, no matter win or lose, is what I heard. And I'm like, I didn't agree. Like, if we lose, I don't think we're a 3. I kind of felt like, okay, we made it to the championship game. If we have a hard-fought battle, 4. If you're saying projected 3, I would have lived with a 4 seed if we had lost again.
Yeah.
We win the fucking game. And it's 5 minutes into the selection cycle. We're not even out of the first screen.
Right.
And boom, we pop up as a 5.
And
when we had a 3-game losing streak, yeah, I think we deserve to be a 5 seed at that point.
Right.
And I don't.
At the end of the year,
everybody knows 5-12. I mean, that's historically damn near 50% over the year.
Exactly. And now, especially the team we're freaking have to play and go up against, dude.
This is the
best 12 seed that's probably been there the last 10 years, I think.
I've seen 2 experts online that have UC San Diego in the Elite 8. So,
in the way that we
lose, this is not App State.
No.
I don't want to hear it from Ohio State fans, who, by the way, are not in the tournament. So,
they haven't been.
They're already talking about
they haven't been
expanding to 76 or whatever. So, there you go, Buckeye fans.
Oh my God! Of course, another extension.
Yeah, extension so that you can get in. Although they're not. I mean, they haven't been.
They're not relevant.
They haven't been really good at basketball for at least 15 years.
Right.
I remember Jared Sullinger. They got the title game.
Dude, you remember the one year
in the early 90s?
I was in middle school. Who was that one dude? They went into the tournament. Think they got upset? It was a point guard for Ohio State. And I remember watching it in class. Aaron Kraft.
Oh, I hated Aaron Kraft.
Aaron Kraft, that sounds right. I knew he was going to be a doctor.
Yeah,
it was crazy the fact that this kid is going to upset this team, and then, man, that was him though.
Got so many foul calls when we played them. Yeah,
freaking crazy.
So there was a couple years stretch there where they were good.
Right.
Maybe a little bit better than Michigan, but historically in my lifetime, Michigan's been much better at basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a 5 seed, like. And it's not just so much that it was just Michigan being a 5. Is if you staying in our conference, you give Wisconsin a 3, who we beat in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And in our only regular season matchup, on their court, we beat them.
Yeah.
And finished ahead of them in the standings in the regular season. What am I missing?
Right.
Like the only thing that they didn't make a big deal of was, Michigan finished. They were seeded third in the Big Ten tournament. They had a negative point differential within the Big Ten.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is
They
absurd.
did have a lot of close wins.
Right. We were every game was 3 points.
Were wins.
They were wins. Yeah.
We had the same fucking record as Wisconsin. Same record.
Yeah.
Same record.
And we beat
Now, yes, they beat Michigan State, which we couldn't do. But head-to-head doesn't matter.
I know.
At all.
We win the entire thing.
Again, if they would have beat us at any point in the regular season, you could have justified it. But they didn't.
Yeah.
We beat them on a neutral court and on their home court.
Right.
They get a 3 seed. Against a Montana team that I don't think is very good. Like, I would much rather have that matchup.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit where we're playing.
The Big Sky.
Where is that game? Where's the Wisconsin game? I don't know if I have that in front of me. I don't know where that game
is. No. It was going to be in Milwaukee. It's in...
Well, it's a lot closer.
But it's not, though. I think it's in Seattle.
Oh, it's in Seattle.
I think it's
But we're going to Denver anyway to play.
Or it could be Denver. Either way, yes.
We're playing in Denver. I think Wisconsin might be playing up in Seattle. So,
okay, yeah.
So either way, you were taking us away. So I don't give a shit about that.
Right.
But, and then give Purdue a 4. Now we split with Purdue in the regular season, home and home.
Yeah.
Beat them in the tournament, so we went 2-1 against them.
Yeah.
And finished ahead of them in the regular season, and had a better record. And they get a 4.
They get a
now,
4.
High Point can be a little bit of a tough game. I know, what's his name, Seth Davis on the selection. He got High Point in the Sweet 16. I don't have that. I do have Purdue winning the first round. He does it all the time. He jacks up a lot of teams. Yeah. I've got some upsets, and we talked about that at the softball game there. And I'll disclose that soon. I've got a lot of upsets early as well.
Yeah.
But I get a little chalky towards the end. But
sure.
So you got Wisconsin at 3, Purdue at 4. Mm-hmm. We've made the arguments that Michigan should have been higher than that. Then in the same seeding, 8th place Oregon as a 5 seed. Again.
Right,
matchup against them,
and we're going to be matched up with the 5 with them. Yeah.
Now they got a tough matchup. They got Liberty.
Yeah, they do.
I have Liberty beating them. So, and God, I got to be honest with you. Like, I think Michigan's got the. I mean, they just proved they got the talent to win the Big Ten tournament.
Which I think is
the second best conference in basketball.
Yes.
Maybe they're 2A with the Big 12, but SEC is definitely clearly number 1. You got 14 teams in.
Yeah.
I respect that. That's fine. But 5 seed, like I just couldn't like. And again, UC San Diego leads the country in defense.
Right.
So and they're in the KenPom top whatever.
I'm so nervous for this because of how much they're able to create turnovers and the way that we give up turnovers. And how fast that this team plays on defense. We don't play as fast as them, and they're probably one of the top in the nation how fast they play. So it's going to be a wild game. The way Dusty will try and coach this game. I have it in my head, like I think he's going to want to control everything. I don't think that's going to happen that way. I think this could be another 3-point game, and I'm hoping we can come out on top. If we do, though, I think
if we win this game,
yes,
and I'll share it here soon. I do have Michigan. I'm picking with my heart a little bit, but I also think they're going to use this as fuel. I think
that's exactly what I'm thinking. I think that they can go far, dude. And I think that if they win this game,
they could lose this game.
They could lose this game. Yeah. If they lose this game, of course, it's nothing. But if we win this, I think the way that people are doubting us is fuel, like you said, and I think that we can make it a long way. And I will disclose that later who I have, but it could be a rematch. You know what I mean? So we'll get there. But yeah, I agree.
All right, so we'll get off our soapbox for Michigan. I think we made our.
But that is so that freaking.
I think winning the Big Ten, they deserve a 3. I would have lived with a 4 a little bit, but
because especially the way that Michigan State has handled us. Of course, I know that they lost to Wisconsin, and they were able to beat them. But you're right. It doesn't make any sense when you don't win the championship game and we don't even get the respect for 3. I know they beat us twice in the regular season, but, anyways, yeah.
Well, to that point, in the same region, this is why I feel like the committee just quit watching basketball 2 weeks ago this season.
They don't even know what's going on.
Auburn loses 3 out of 4. They remain the number, not just the number 1, which I'm fine with, because they had a brutal schedule, but the number 1 overall. But then you're going to reward them as the number 1 overall seed. However, they have a potential second-round matchup with Louisville.
Yes.
In Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes.
So
Another
you're
great
telling
point.
them that Auburn's the number 1 overall seed. You put them in fucking Lexington, Kentucky.
It's
to potentially play Louisville. Now, I have Creighton beating Louisville to avoid that game.
Do?
I do have Creighton winning that.
Okay.
But I didn't realize how good of a year Louisville had.
Yes.
They were AP top. They were the number 10 team in the country.
At one point.
The ACC tournament. Going into the ACC.
Going in, yeah.
They were number 10. They ended up with an 8 seed. I mean, what a disrespect to the ACC. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell. I mean, we're bitching about Michigan, but
that is rough.
To be number 10 in the country and you're the 8 seed?
Yeah.
Whew. I mean,
that's why I think I put them over top of Creighton right now. That's another an 8 seed type thing. You feel that? I don't know. We'll see. But that's really interesting. You bring that out because of the fact that Auburn just had an abysmal end. I say abysmal. I think they do not play well to what they are known for.
They lost to 3 really, really good teams.
They did.
Could all win the national championship.
Yes.
For sure.
And the SEC is so stacked.
In the Final Four.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not disrespecting their losses by any means.
No, but I just think that the way that they were able to play all year, because they were the best team for a long time. Yeah. And then Florida really came on the scene, was able to beat Tennessee and on a Saturday in a key matchup. I remember it. And I just think that they really came on the scene. But, yes, Auburn and where they are now, that could be so interesting. Louisville, Kentucky for that round 32. Round of 32. Man.
I mean, and again, I still think, going into the Big Ten tournament, Michigan probably played themselves down to a 5.
Yeah.
With those 3 straight losses, but they avenged 2 of them in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And the other team that they didn't get to avenge lost to the team that they beat. So
Yeah.
All right, we'll get off that. And then the only other point, obviously the biggest controversy of the teams left out was North Carolina getting in with a 1-12
BS.
quad 1 record, and I do agree with you. Yes, Indiana had 0 losses outside of the quad 1.
Yeah.
And they had 4 wins in quad 1.
Yeah.
So again, North Carolina a little bit better record, but you just proved that you're disrespecting the ACC by taking the second place team and putting them as an 8 seed.
An 8 seed.
So you're already saying that this conference is weak,
Right.
and that the Big Ten's a little bit better. Yeah, that's I wrote that down because I'm like 1-12 in quad 1. Indiana had 4 wins in quad 1 and 0 losses outside of quad 1.
Yes.
0.
That's freaking crazy.
All 13 of their losses were quad 1 losses.
Yeah, they should not even be here. Hubert Davis all year. I mean, it's an abysmal year. I don't know if it's a down year for them or not. I didn't really watch much of them, but I did find out that the AD for North Carolina is on that committee selection, the selection of the committee, whatever. So yeah, we're just in freaking. I mean, don't watch it the last 2 weeks of the year. Like to testament what you're saying. I feel like the committee didn't watch it the last 2 weeks of the year, and I know how that freaking meeting went. The AD from North Carolina was like, "Okay, you want me just to step out for this part of it, or you're gonna try and put them in or not?"
I'm sure.
But when I step out and I come back in, so
They
didn't put them in.
conversation.
It's a conversation. I know what that even looked like. I can hear it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think that is so bad by them.
Any other points?
So bad.
Anything that stood out to you from Selection Sunday before we dive into?
You talked about Oregon already.
Those are the ones. I mean, those are some of the ones. One of the ones that I'm closer to.
Yeah.
Being in conference.
I love St. John's at 2. They have such a good team.
Yeah.
And Rick
Everything
Pitino's
else
back
seemed pretty
on top.
fair, and I'm sure it's a tough job. I'm not discouraging.
You could have made it a little bit better, though. Yeah.
There were. I feel like some minds were made up before the conference tournaments.
Right.
So if they don't matter, then just say that.
I just say it.
And
Yeah.
you might as well have Selection Sunday the fucking week before that.
Right. Exactly.
And then just say whoever wins these tournaments are going in.
Yeah.
For the small one. But all right, let's start with the South region.
Let's
since
do
we
it.
were really kind of talking. That's most of where the controversy was. Honestly,
It really was.
Michigan at 5, Carolina being in, Auburn potentially having to play Louisville in Lexington.
Yeah.
That South region definitely was the one that was filled with the controversy, which is to me the number one of all seeds supposed to have the easiest path. I think they have one of the harder ones. So,
Sure.
So for the sake of this, for time, I know we're not going to go into every game. Let's talk about who do you have double-digit seeds moving on in the first round of the South.
So the only one that I had double-digit wise is New Mexico Lobos right now.
Okay.
Richard Pitino is out there, and I think he has a team that is very, very good. I watched. I think was it their one of their conference tournaments games I watched, and I just think that they are a sound team. Could be very good down the stretch on this first game against Marquette, and a Marquette team that in that program that has not been the same for some years. So that's the only one I got right now.
Okay.
Is New Mexico.
So I have New Mexico as well. I have Kendall's bracket. She's sitting here with us.
Yes.
All 3 of us went New Mexico.
Nice.
First round matchup.
Nice.
So bet heavy on Marquette.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
And then her and I both have 13 seed Yale beating Texas A&M.
Wow.
Which was kind of a popular pick.
It is,
on
yeah.
Sunday as well.
That's
There's
why
a little bit of symmetry.
I stay away from those popular picks on Selection Sunday. That's why when I was watching it, I always
and Yale won last year.
Yeah.
So came harder sometimes for the mid majors in that kind of seeding to do it back to back years.
Right.
Butler obviously is one that comes to mind with back to back title runs, and they were a 5 seed. We talked about that. They were a 5 seed the second year they went to the title game, and so they used that as fuel. I remember being pissed that they got a 5 after just going to the title game. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And damn near beating Duke on that last second shot. And man, like when they came out of the 5, I'm like, man, you're just trying to set them up for an upset.
Right.
It worked out. So
Yeah.
maybe they use it as fuel. There is some symmetry with a possible Michigan-Texas A&M matchup. I don't know if you realize my buddy Matt, who's Shadowbox and everything,
Oh, right.
was an Aggie fan. His brother is. The game's in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, you might be.
Man, like it's Randy's birthday weekend. I'm not gonna go out if the matchup happens, but if I was still living there.
Oh,
man,
dude,
like,
yeah.
But I think it's going to get fucked up one way or the other, whether it's us losing or like they might both lose. It might be a Yale UC San Diego.
Yeah. Oh my
It
God.
really
Yeah, really.
But all three of us do have Michigan. Beating UC San Diego, we all know it's going to be tough.
If we can get that
I do
one.
have Yale. I have Yale, New Mexico, and I have one other one that I already let the cat out of the bag with you a little bit. I just complained North Carolina should not be in this NCAA tournament. I have North Carolina going to Sweet 16.
Oh.
Sweet 16. I have them beating San Diego State tonight, beating Ole Miss, and beating Iowa State.
Oh my
With the
God.
injury that they have.
Oh my God.
I mean, I could be out. I could be out by 11:30 tonight and totally regret it.
Yeah.
And I will
You
tell
could be
you
out
right
by
now,
tonight.
if they lose tonight,
Yeah.
I would say Ole Miss is going to Sweet 16. That's the correction that I would make. So,
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So.
I think Ole Miss is a good
you
team.
you have North Carolina losing tonight to San Diego State.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think UNC can win this game. I have them winning
Okay,
this game.
you think they'll win
I
this
do
game?
think
Okay.
they can win this game.
But you
But
have them losing to Ole
they are
Miss.
going to lose Ole Miss.
Okay,
Yes.
and that's what Kendall has that as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's keep the first round going.
So you want to do like the Elite Eight type thing?
Oh no, let's go
Or
first
each one.
round upsets. Let's just
Okay.
we'll go down to the
Okay. Yeah.
to the West region there.
Yeah.
Florida's region. Same thing. Who's your double digit underdogs here?
So again, for me, the only one is number 10 Arkansas versus Kansas. This one, to me, Calipari's going to have them ready. I have no
Kansas
issue.
versus your Kansas.
Yes, yeah, our Kansas versus your Kansas. I think Kansas all year, another program just like Marquette, who has been a blue blood for some time, but the last few years have not been good and not been kind. And I just think that Calipari is ready to. I think.
Man, do you think is some of the problem Hunter Dickens?
Yes.
Because he kind of
Yes, it is.
drove us down a little bit.
He did.
We were kind of over.
It was like when
they
we
were the
first
number one team
recruited
in the
him.
country.
Yeah, I want right. This
Starting
team
year,
should have
Kansas was number
been.
one.
This team should have been. I mean, probably the favorite to win the entire thing, and they were. And they
beginning
really
of
have
the year.
fallen off.
Beginning of the year.
And that's why I think with this
I have
fall
no
off, especially Hunter Dickinson, I think it can be like I don't know what it is if it's a bad locker room vibe with him in it, but yeah, I
There's
like
something.
Calipari to do
There's
it.
something there.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens when he goes to the NBA.
Right.
I do also have Arkansas. Kind of went the other way on that. We're kind of,
That's a good
my
pick,
girls
really.
are a little bit kind of maybe not closet Kansas fans, but we have friends that are Jayhawk fans. We have
Okay.
Jayhawks hoodies that have been passed down. And
Jayhawks
so,
are fun, man. Yeah, it's a good time.
Well, Kendall and I have multiple double digit seeds. Okay. In this first round here, I've got Colorado State. So does she. She has Grand Canyon over Maryland, which
Wow.
Grand Canyon again
Did you
was
see
an
it?
upset last year as well.
Yeah.
I did not go that way. I have Drake.
You have
So does
Drake.
she. Matter of fact, we both have Drake in the Sweet 16.
Wow.
She's got him a step further. She's got him all the way to the Elite Eight.
So I have
And then they
in
lose.
that section of mine, I have Texas Tech winning and then playing Missouri for that next game. So Missouri, Texas Tech, but Texas Tech has some injuries, so I think they can get past UNC Wilmington, but I don't know how far along those injuries will go into the second round. So that's why I actually have Missouri going to my Sweet 16 for that. That's
yeah. Very beating them. So I have them in the Sweet 16. She's got them in the Elite 8. She also has Grand Canyon in the Sweet 16 as well.
nice.
Okay, so let's go up to upper right quadrant.
Upper right.
The East region, Duke's region here. Same thing. What do you got for some double digit upsets?
I right now do not. The only one I have is the only upset that's not a double digit.
You are chalky.
I am very chalky right now. It's Baylor. I have Baylor right now over Mississippi
Just a
State.
9-8, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's not really Mississippi State. I don't have anything out
I
of
did
that
not
region.
mention the last round. I have Oklahoma beating UConn the first round.
Oklahoma.
I
Oh,
think I
okay.
have the defending
I do
champions
not.
out.
I think Hurley can get past at least Oklahoma, but then lose to Florida. So Yeah.
I think that went to the bite.
Yeah.
You've been a little talky this year. So you only have one. So I have two.
We're not making the mistake again this year. We're not.
Kendall's got Montana beating us.
The last 3 years, I've made mistakes with some of these seedings, and I make them go too far. So I'm just going. I'm trying to get points to win in this brackets this year for the groups I'm in.
Well, I've got Liberty and Akron.
Liberty and Akron.
I tell you what,
Man.
all year I kept saying Akron's going to win a game. Akron's going to win a game. And kind of like last year,
Arizona's good.
I don't like their first round matchup.
Arizona's good, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
So I know, and so, but I'm riding.
You have to. I feel it. Right.
But I only have them winning one game because
Okay.
I have Liberty. Not only upsetting Oregon, I got Liberty beating Akron and Liberty getting to the Sweet 16.
In the way that you have that, because I think if you had Arizona winning, and then playing Liberty, I think Arizona would probably
I
suffice
watched
that.
a little bit of them.
So.
I'm impressed. I think they're gonna make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, I don't think Oregon's any good, but I do think that they can handle Liberty. And I think I have them losing right after that to Arizona. So I don't know, but
Kendall has the same matchup. Liberty Akron. She has Akron moving on. She has Akron going to the national championship game.
no, you do not.
Yeah,
Wow,
she does.
that
Yeah,
is
she does.
awesome.
I'm not going to reveal her national champion yet, but she does. She has Akron going.
I like
quite
it.
Far,
I
quite
like
far.
it. I like it.
She's there. She's like, I see something.
Yeah.
She also has Montana in the Sweet 16. So
Okay.
keep an eye on that.
Okay.
All right, that's it. I got Liberty to the Sweet 16. That's my only really underdog. Got a small upset in the second round, BYU over Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then let's go down to the Midwest, Houston's region.
Yeah.
This one I stayed pretty true to form.
I did too.
I have Jared Calhoun in the Utah State Aggies upsetting UCLA in the first round.
Okay, so you did have a 10 over
I
7.
had a 10/7 there.
Yeah.
Boy, Kendall's got Xavier winning tomorrow night against Texas, and then getting all the way to the Final Four. All of VCU from like 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
So she's got an Akron Xavier
Wow.
semifinal.
Wow.
I told my teacher that I would make Xavier lose next year, and I'm like, no.
Nah.
Just be careful.
So she also has, as a first round upset, she also has Utah. She has Utah State in the Sweet 16 playing Xavier. She's got Wofford winning.
Yeah.
McNeese. Boy, you're going way out on a limb here.
Man.
All right, so yeah, I was pretty chalky in this region. I do have Utah State bowing out to Tennessee. I've got Illinois beating Kentucky in the second round.
Okay.
And a 5-0 if I got Clemson over Purdue. So
Yeah. I don't know, man. Clemson was Purdue. Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Clark had Clemson in Final Four championship game even.
All
It's definitely Final
They're-
Four.
they're-
I think he's got him in the championship game.
Clemson is not, to me at least, not that good. But yeah.
Yeah.
So the only thing I have for that is Utah State. I really do think that they can pull it up over at UCLA. I don't think UCLA is all that good. And I agree with you on that. But then I'm pretty true to this region on this one. The Florida region, the West and Midwest, I was true for all of that. So
Okay.
it's been, until it becomes to Missouri, because Missouri went through for me on the Sweet 16. So, but yeah, that is I was real chalky this year. So
Got a good game here. 7 minutes to go. St. Francis up 57-54.
yeah,
So we'll try to get through it so me and you can watch into this game.
yeah.
So let's get to let's talk about what our regional finals are. And real quick, let's make picks for you went Alabama State. I went St. Francis. We both got North Carolina tonight.
North Carolina tonight. The other play-ins.
American, Mount St. Mary's. I'm gonna go American. I don't really have much. To
Yeah,
go.
for that one, I don't have anything on that game. I
know Mount St. Mary's was a 6 seed in their tournament.
Yes.
American was, I want to say 2 or 3. That's all I really know.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
Either one of those.
I'll probably do the same thing you said. My American.
Texas and Xavier.
This is
Well,
fun.
Kendall, I kind of want to root for Xavier now that Kendall's gone
Yeah.
so far, but
I kind of had Texas myself in this.
so did I. I have either one losing to Illinois either way.
Yes, me too.
So I think that's a one and done. I think again, in my opinion, I think North Carolina is the team that can make a run out of that.
Yeah,
Out of that group.
sure.
So let's go regional finals. We'll
Yeah.
go back up to the south. I'm starting to have a sneaking suspicion. Do we have the same regional final? Do we have
No.
all Big Ten? No, we do not.
Well,
You have Michigan losing Auburn?
no. Well, so okay. So out of the South, we're talking. Okay, I got it. Okay, so yes, upper left. That is correct. Me and you. I have Michigan State,
So do I.
and I have Michigan winning that game.
Okay. So Kendall went Auburn, Michigan State. She has Michigan State winning.
Yeah.
You have Michigan State beating us?
No.
Or you have Michigan? Okay.
Going to the Final Four.
All right, so we're going to
We have that much momentum. I'm telling you, we can beat Michigan State. We can.
Yeah. That's the prediction I went with was Michigan State as well. I got Michigan. Kendall went Michigan State. You go Michigan.
Yeah.
All right. So we got all Big Ten. Final Four there so far.
Yeah.
All right, so into the West, I got Florida St. John's. I'm not chalky. See,
Me too.
A lot of upsets. But I got one versus two.
Me too. I really want Rick Pitino to go all the way to the Final Four, but I do have Florida winning that game. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Kendall has Florida over Drake. So
Florida over Drake.
She has Drake in the
Wow,
lead.
Drake.
Yeah, she has Drake in the lead. I have her in the Sweet 16, so I'm not far off. And
Yeah.
She has Drake beating Kansas in the Sweet 16. So,
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
She has Kansas upsetting St. John's.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
But she ended up with all that chaos that she has in there. She ended up with Florida.
Yeah.
So she's got Michigan State, Florida in that semifinal, and you and I have Florida, Michigan. So
Nice.
we're pretty good here. All right, so going up to the East, I've got Duke BYU.
Wow.
I think BYU could score, man.
Do you have them beating Bama?
I do.
Wow. I have Duke Bama. I'm really chalky. I know. I'm sorry. No one's probably not going to like that. It's not very exciting, but these are the two best teams. One of the top three teams is Duke, Bama, and Florida. To me, and this is going to be a matchup. I think this can happen, really happen. And
We
I
are
have Duke.
assuming Cooper Flag's good to go, right? I know. It's
Yes.
just
So, and
playing
I only heard was he's going to sit out the first two games. And
First two.
If he comes back,
Boy, they got to be careful. I'm good with the
Yeah.
first. I mean, you're beating a 16 seed, but
it's Baylor, Mississippi
Mississippi
State.
State. Both teams play really.
Yes, they
hard.
do. They both. Right.
If he's good, I would consider giving him minutes.
Yeah.
He could be out.
I can't wait for that Baylor Mississippi State game. I'm telling you, that's gonna be a hell of a game. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, it's gonna. You have to watch out for that.
Especially Mississippi. I actually have Baylor beating Mississippi State.
Me
but
too.
If they end up with Mississippi State, they're battle tested with having played in the SEC. And if you don't go out there with Cooper Flag,
Man,
I don't know.
right.
I mean, it could lose. I would not be stunned by that.
Yeah.
So I think matchup wise, they better hope for Baylor if Flag's not ready.
Yes.
All right, so Duke, Bama, who do you have winning?
Duke, Bama. I have Duke.
You have Duke. All right. So I have Duke beating BYU.
Okay.
This again, I let the count out of the bag that Kendall has Akron coming out of this region.
Mm-hmm.
So she had Akron beating Duke, and then Akron beating Alabama. So she has Duke and
Okay.
Alabama going that far
Yeah.
until running into the Zips. So down to the Midwest, I went chalky here. I got 1 versus 2.
So for me, this is. I have yet to decide on this. It's between Houston and Purdue right now.
Wow, you got Purdue.
Yeah, Elite Eight. So right now, though, because Purdue has, I think, the friendliest track to get to Elite Eight. Especially McNeese. I know that's a big upset for people, but I have Clemson going through.
Originally, I remember picking them last year to the Sweet 16, and they went in the first round.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of feel snake bitten by them. So I did go Clemson.
That's what I have that, and I just don't because
I have Clemson beat Duke.
right, and I do. But the only thing is,
Clemson beat Duke this year. Like I feel like they're a little. They had a winning record on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about them. It's just one of those like they kind of remind me a little bit of like NC State last year. Like,
sure.
a team that nobody's really talking about. They can make a run, and Clemson made a little bit of a run last year. So
Yeah, okay.
They're tournament ready, I guess.
Yeah.
But I have Houston, Tennessee, in the regional final. And so you haven't decided between.
Well, so right now, what it's marked as on my bracket, I have Houston, Tennessee. This could change right up before Thursday happens. I'm going to tell you right now. But right now, it is Houston, Tennessee, and I have Tennessee winning this game.
All right, I have Tennessee in the final four as well.
So our final fours are the
So
same.
how about this regional final? I
Yeah.
told you that she had Xavier going. Georgia and Xavier.
Ooh,
So
the Bulldogs.
Kendall's final four is Michigan State, Florida, Akron, and Xavier.
Wow.
I'm going Michigan, Florida, Duke, Tennessee.
And I have
So I went 2 number 1s, a 2, and a 5.
yeah. I have the same right now. I have a number 5 in Michigan, 1 in Florida, and then 1 Duke, 2 Tennessee. And you want to give your championship first?
Sure. Well, let's give Kendall.
Okay, yeah.
She's got Michigan State, cutting down the nets against the Akron.
All right. Hey, I don't mind that pick to win it all. I really don't. The Michigan State is good.
And that's
They
the
get
thing
hot
with
at
these
the right
brackets,
time.
with the point style, how it doubles each round.
Yeah.
So even though she's got some crazy picks in there,
Yeah.
she could potentially win the bracket by just being right on Michigan State if nobody else really picks it around.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it comes down to that a little bit.
Sure.
So, and she's got Florida, which is a popular pick. Going to the Final Four, so she's at least different. And that's what, like, sometimes when you fill out a crazy bracket like that,
You can win
and
a
if
lot
Michigan
of points.
State
doing that.
wins, if you have other chaos,
Yes.
like even if Akron and Xavier don't make it,
Right.
what if there's with some teams that people aren't talking about, what if Oregon goes all the way to the Final Four, or Gonzaga as a 9 or as an 8 seed?
Right. They can upset Houston. They have a favorable track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, those aren't going to be as popular picks either. And all of a sudden, even though she's not going to point, nobody else is.
Exactly.
So, sometimes it ends up being a little bit of a strategy. But,
Yeah.
I have Florida over Duke for the title.
Man, I
So
do
have
too.
Michigan getting to the Final Four, and that's where my,
That's where it ends
I
for
am
me.
picking with my heart a little bit, but also, if they can cut down on the turnovers, they've got a little bit of everything. Two 7-footers.
Yeah.
So if they can limit the turnovers and shoot good, this team can make
Yes.
it. So I really try to sometimes pick it being unbiased.
Yeah.
And I've watched the few times I've watched Florida, they're the best team.
Dude,
I know they don't have the best record, but
They look it,
Duke
dude.
would have lost 4 or 5 in the SEC.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just because of record-wise, I'm not convinced Duke's going to want to give the contract.
Yeah, they only had like 3 losses, right? Or 4
And
losses.
even before Cooper got hurt, I watched the first 15 minutes of their game against Georgia Tech,
Yeah.
and I was not impressed. So
Sure.
they have proven they can get into a bit of a slump too, and you can't do that. You can't have a 15-minute stretch like they did against Georgia Tech
Yeah.
once you get deep in the tournament here. You
Sure.
can get away with it in the first round, maybe
Right.
in the second. But you get to the Sweet 16 and beyond, you can't do a 15-minute stretch like that.
Yeah.
And they had Cooper in there, so that was before he got hurt.
Man.
So
Yeah. But yeah, I have the same thing. I have to win. The total points I picked on this was 159. So.
yeah, I forgot to do mine. Kendall had 137. So when I got Florida Duke, how many did you got?
159 for total
Yeah.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's good because if it's
I
those
still
two
think it'll be
teams.
like,
If
I'll
it's those
go,
two teams.
let's say 80 to 70. I think I'll go 157.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
I feel like I'm pricing the right.
only if it's those two teams though, right? Like if it's anyone else that's different, it would probably be underneath that score. I think,
Oh yeah,
too,
yeah,
so
yeah. I think that makes sense.
yeah. So
All right. Well, yeah, I think you're gonna probably get this posted by tomorrow.
yeah. Oh yeah, we'll be
So
up.
anybody that hasn't filled out the bracket,
Maybe take some advice.
Go
from us?
against us.
Really though, go against me, dude. I am chalky as
we got
chalk
some-
can get.
Yeah, I think we got some decent thoughts and ideas out there. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, let us know if you ever win money from anything.
I know that we say. Please
Share it.
comment it. Yeah, comment it down. We would love to hear
Do
it.
we get 10% royalties on that?
I know. I would hope so.
All right. Well,
All right.
5 minutes to go. St. Francis is up 60-56. So I'm
Of course.
gonna eat and watch the end of this game.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Have a great tournament, everyone that's listening. And it's going to be a
we'll try to get
great
back
time.
on. Maybe we'll sneak a show in next week.
Yeah, maybe on one of those
Kind
days.
Reset, for the Sweet 16.
Yeah, perfect.
Or at the very least, before the Final Four. Try to get on next week.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right. Love you guys.